All right, ladies and gentlemen, Skills 101. So I'm about to absolutely blow your mind in this video. I think skills are probably one of the most important things to master in the kind of age of AI agents. They are assets for your business. Building good skills, you can pretty much automate any process in your entire company with a really good skill or a series of skills. And I'm gonna demo some really cool ones in this video. I've got one that pretty much handles my entire YouTube from like titles, descriptions, thumbnails as well, and then publishing it. I've got other ones for like ad scraping, marketing. I made a video the other week that's a lot of you guys got a lot of value from, which was automating meta ads. And that was just pretty much with skills as well. So welcome to Skills 101. And I'm not gonna ramble on either. It's gonna be a super quick video. You're gonna understand skills super well by the end of this. Actually, before we get into that, it's really important to understand there's pretty much only like 3 key concepts you really need to understand. And those of you who found me through my episode with Greg Eisenberg sort of kind of got to understand this. The way I think about AI agents, right, is it's like learning to drive. And all these agents are different like harnesses or like cars, like OpenClaw is like a G-Wagon, Claude Code's like a Range Rover, Codex is like a Ferrari, but you get what I'm saying. But if you know how to drive, you can kind of step in any of them and like instantly kind of get the grip of it and start using it. And I think that really just comes down to 3 things: context, tools, and skills. So I'm gonna liken this to, you know, you're onboarding a new employee. So let's just say you onboard a new like creative strategist for your company. They might be really good at marketing, but they come in, you hire them, you don't give them any context, like they don't know what your business is, who you serve, what your product is. They're not going to be able to market anything, even if they're the best marketer in the world. So this looks like giving it really good context files, like really good markdown files that explain, you know, about me, the business, your ideal client, your voice DNA, your working stall. All right, now you've got this creative strategist, they know everything about you and your business. But unless you give them like tools to work with, like Facebook ads, Canva, Higgsfield, whatever, unless you give them the tools to actually create the marketing assets, they're still going to be a pretty rubbish marketer. But now, even now you've given them the tools and the context, they're going to be able to do a good job. But the last piece of the puzzle is skills. So this is basically giving your new employee repeatable workflows they can follow and execute the same way every single time. So the easiest way to understand this, a way that like dropped really nicely into my head. So the easiest way to think about skills is they're just SOPs for AI. And SOPs, if you're not familiar, just means standard operating procedure. A standard operating procedure in the past is what you would have given to like a VA, like a virtual assistant, on how to do a task. Like you might have had a VA helping you with custom support emails. And you know, when you start working with a VA, you need to document your processes really clearly so they can follow them. You might have a Word document with like customer support process. Step 1, open up Gmail. Step 2, go to this inbox. Step 3, find emails. And step 4, check what they're asking against this database. And like you would outline a process really easy for a VA to do. This is the same, or an employee, and this is the same way that you need to think about skills, is they're just SOPs for AI. So a really good example of like before we had skills. So without skills, if you wanted to, let's just say, create a proposal, for example, you would open up a new chat with your agent or in Claude or whatever, and you would say like, help me write a proposal for this new client. Here's all the context about the client and the deal. Here's the price, create the proposal. And it would, you know, spit out like a proposal on the first attempt, and very good chance that proposal is not going to be exactly how you want it on the first time. You're most likely going to be going back through and explaining your processes. Like, hey, put the price at the bottom instead of at the top. You know, put the logo on the top left, change the color to this. Anyway, you might go back and forth 15, 20 minutes until you're finally happy with this proposal. You send it, great. A week later, you're needing to create a new proposal. You go on a new chat. It doesn't remember any of these standards. So a week later, when you go to create a new proposal, you're going to have to explain all those standards again. And I mean, you could just upload the example of the proposal that you like and say, all right, work off this. But then you've got to like, you know, go into your file system, find that proposal, attach it. It's just like kind of an inefficient way of doing things. Skills solve this problem. You can basically teach Claude exactly how you like a task done, and then it can save it on its bookshelf to use in the future. So in this example, you would say to Claude, all right, create a skill for proposals. And you would explain this whole process, and Claude would go through and build a proposal skill. And then now every time in the future, you say, all right, create a proposal for this person, create a proposal here. It's going to follow the exact same steps every single time and save your preferences perfectly. And then over time, you end up with a big library of all these processes and skills you've taught AI how to do and you want it to do in the future. So you can see here, this is in my Claude desktop app. You go up to like customize and skills. You can see all of them here. This is just the ones within my Claude desktop app. The skills for Claude Code live in a different location. Skills in Claude Code live in your home folder on your computer. And if you go Command-Shift dot, it opens up a hidden folder here called .claude, which is kind of like Claude Code's settings. And you can see here, we've got this folder called skills. And in here, these are where all your skills live for Claude Code. And the way to think about skills, if we go back to our little thing here, you can think of Claude as like, you know, this employee at his desk. And skills is like all the SOPs, all these processes, standard operating procedures in like a bookshelf next to him. And he's there working at his computer, and every time you give him a task, he's gonna look and check his bookshelf to see if there's any relevant sort of like SOPs he should follow. So for example, proposal writing. You send a message to Claude, hey, build a proposal for this person. He is sitting there at his computer, he receives the message. He's gonna just go look at his bookshelf and go, all right, have I got anything for proposals? Oh yep, here's this one, pick it up, read it, and then now he'll go and like know exactly how you want it done. And with this bookshelf analogy, the way that skills work is skills are literally just markdown files. So you can see if I open up these skills here in Claude Code, for example, this add creative analysis skill, it's literally just a folder called add creative analysis with a skill.md file, and .md is just markdown. It's just a nicely formatted text file basically. And if we open this up, you can see it's quite literally just like a plain text document explaining like, all right, here's the process. Step 1, do this. Step 2, analyze with Gemini. Here's what we're going to be looking for, the hook, the script, the visual approach. And we've just taught Claude Code, like any agent, a simple process here. And something I want you to pay attention to is this little part at the top, separated by these 2 lines. So what we've got here at the top of the skill, every skill.md file has at the top a name, which is the name of the skill, and then a description, which explains like what this skill is used for. And Claude at his desk, like when you open up a new session, he doesn't have all of this loaded in. He just has the name and description of each of your skills. So I've got like hundreds. So Claude's just got this big bookshelf of like hundreds of skills to work with. And you can literally think of them as books. And like, you know, on the spine of the book, you have like title. That's kind of what this is. This is like the spine of the book. And let me, I'll give an example and this will all make a lot of sense. If you've enjoyed this video and gotten value so far, you're gonna love my weekly newsletter. So if you head over to aiwithremy.com, we've got the practical AI newsletter for solopreneurs and builders. I send out 1 email a week every Thursday that's value packed with all the AI news, all the workflows, all the playbooks, and all the tools that you need to build, brand, and scale faster with AI. Because AI moves so fast that you don't have enough time to live on X, read every OpenAI release, or watch hours of YouTube just to keep up. And my pledge to you is that if you read the newsletter every Thursday, you can focus on growing your business and I can handle the AI updates. So when you start like a new session with Claude, you can think of this is like a little bar, right, that can fill up as you start to use Claude. So you can think of this like Claude's brain space when you start a fresh chat. You know, the more chats you fill it up with, the more its brain fills up with context. Eventually you get the, your chat's too long, please start a new chat. And what happens is at the start of every new chat with Claude, it's basically loading in. It takes up a little bit already of your entire session. It's loading in every single one of those names and descriptions of all your skills. So Claude knows all the skills that it has available to use. And then anytime when you reference using a skill like, hey, create a proposal, it'll know it's got that proposal skill and then it will read it and then it will read the full document. And then, the context might be used up about this much after that. So that's kind of how you can think about like how Claude uses the skills. One important distinction to make is skills are not tools. So there's a big misconception. A lot of people think like, oh, I've given my Claude a Gmail skill so we can use Gmail. It's not how it works. So yes, there are like Gmail skills, but the Gmail skill is just teaching Claude a process on how to use Gmail, and the tool is connected separately, whether that's through, MCP or CLI, we won't get into that later. Think about in Claude when you go connectors and click add Gmail. And then you might have a Gmail skill that kind of accompanies the tool to teach you how to use it. Like you can see here, Firecrawl. Firecrawl is like a web scraping tool that Claude has, but it's got a skill for Firecrawl. Composio, this is another tool that I've given Claude, but it's got an accompanying skill here, which I imagine, I haven't looked into, would explain to Claude how to use the tool. Important distinction to make there. But pretty much any time I ever do a workflow or like get Claude or an agent to help me with something that I know I'm gonna have to do again in the future, I will build a skill for it. Some examples of skills that I actually use day to day is this is one here, my humanized text skill. So if we open up this, it's a little package, right? So it's got the skill.md, which is basically like our book with the little book spine saying humanized text, transform AI generated or robotic sounding text into natural human written content. Use when the user asks to humanize texts, says make writing sound more natural, etc. And then you can see the process. It says step 1, verify files. Step 3, report a status. Core objectives, eliminate AI, blah, blah, blah. It goes through. It's literally just a step-by-step process. And it's explained here, avoid perfect symmetry, use light personalization. It's got a full replace AI prohibited content. It's got a full like SOP on how to make AI content sound more human. But alongside that too, it also has this references folder with a little extra document I've given it called overused AI patterns. And this is a separate doc which kind of dives into common used AI patterns. Like the best part, you don't do this. The only limitation, blah, 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 blah. Like just straight like AI slop. Another one here, here's the truth no one is talking about. What nobody tells you about this. Or, it's not X, it's Y. Like really common AI patterns that I've just put in this document. And that is a skill that I use all the time. That's a simple example. Another great one is like brand guidelines. Although brand guidelines isn't like a step-by-step process, it's kind of like this document or little package where you want to have like your colors, your fonts, your brand voice, kind of, you want to teach Claude that. A really good format to put that in is a skill. So you can see like I've got one for, but if we open up this references folder that's also packaged into the skill, it's got more like the colors, the links to the logos and stuff. So that's another example of a skill. What I want to show you guys now is my like multi-skill workflows that we can get into. So you know how I said at the start, you can kind of automate any process with a really good skill. I'm going to show you a really cool example of that right now. So if I open up Claude Code here, this is just like my content folder that I work in for all my content stuff. And I have a series of skills here: YouTube description, YouTube publish workflow, YouTube thumbnail, YouTube titles. And you can see here, for example, the YouTube thumbnail skill. This one creates all of my thumbnails. If we open that up, this folder, you can see we've got the skill.md, and the skill.md has that little name and description at the top, and then goes into it. It's like, all right, find the file, use the Higgs field, CLI, thumbnail strategy, visuals. Like I've taught it how I like my thumbnails done. And I've also packaged into this skill some reference images. We've got assets like my face in here. And then style references, where I've basically given it some thumbnails that I really like the style of. And this little background image that I like to use for like the background of my thumbnails. As you can see here, these thumbnails are all AI generated from this workflow, which is pretty cool. But the way that I run this is I will go like slash YouTube publish workflow. And then the YouTube publish workflow skill is what I call like an orchestrator skill. And this is like a skill that basically says, all right, use these other skills in a sequence. So I've kind of broken down this overall process of like, okay, we've got a YouTube video that's been edited. We need to write titles. We need to write a description. We need to create a thumbnail, and then we need to upload it. So I've just broken those down into 4 separate skills. And then this overall skill kind of orchestrates them in line. So if we go back into our skills folder, actually, you know, we've got it right here. So if we open up the YouTube publish workflow, and then we go into this skill.md, you can see here, it basically says, this is an orchestrator skill. Step 1, find the file. Step 2, transcribe. Use the transcribe skill. Here we go. And then we keep going. Titles. Use the YouTube titles skill next. That's phase 3. Then phase 4, use the YouTube thumbnail skill. So this is like a overall SOP on how to use the other skills. And there's pretty much like no limit to this. You can kind of imagine the possibilities here. So with this YouTube one, for example, and then the thumbnail one I showed you guys before, I just run YouTube publish workflow, and then I just give it the URL in Google Drive to my edited video. So you can see here, this is like an example one I've just run here, YouTube publish workflow up the top. And then I've given it basically the file path to the video, and it's gone off and it started using each skill. It used to actually say like the skill it was using at each step, but now it just seems to say like skill.md, which is this one here, YouTube titles. You can see it's red and it's going on. It uses that. It comes back with a bunch of titles. I then picked one, and then it goes through, reads the next skill, which would be the YouTube thumbnail skill. And then now it's starting to create thumbnails. And you can see for this example, it's gone through and it's generated like so many different thumbnails that I can choose from. And then just put them into like my Google Drive folder here. And that whole like YouTube publish workflow skill, like that's an asset for my business and my personal brand. And that skill is like literally just like text file explaining like how to do something to an agent. And if Claude Code becomes terrible next month or gets shut down, I can then just take that skill, it's just a file, and I'll just give it to Codex, or I'll give it to OpenClaw, and it can just follow the same step-by-step instructions. So they are literally like assets that you build for your company. And you can pretty much automate any process. You know, you connect your tools into your agent. Like in this case for the thumbnail thing, I connected Higgs field for image generation. I connected Google Drive so it can find the things. And then you just explain your process and it will go through and it will build those out. And I actually built a skill for my mate's company. He's got a furniture store, and I built this skill called Tiber product shoot. You can see it there. And what this skill did is it basically took these reference images, like I'll show you here, like this is a reference image, like literally iPhone photo, whatever. And I ran the skill and it would turn a photo like this into a full on photo shoot where it would do an editorial shot, a one with the human in it. It's the same scene with a human added. And then it's got like close-ups of all the edges, like a technical drawing and a catalog piece as well. And that went through, you can see here, for like literally hundreds of products. And that was like just a really good Claude skill I created. That one there was literally not even a series of skills. It was just one skill where I basically explained to Claude like, all right, here's the image generation model I want you to use, Nano Banana Pro. The style of images, I gave it this big prompt about like the architecture and color grading style as well, and just taught it my process. So I imagine you're probably sitting here wondering, okay, cool, I get it. How the hell do you build these amazing skills? So you need to use this skill creator skill that's actually created by Anthropic. So that's another thing is the company Anthropic behind Claude actually came up with the whole concept of skills like 8 months ago. And it took like months for any other like AI, ChatGPT or Gemini to implement them. So they're really like forward thinking with this stuff. And they've basically created this skill called the skill creator skill. So it's literally like skillception. And this skill creator skill, you guessed it, is literally just a skill text document that explains how to create a skill to Claude. And I don't actually ever write any of those skills manually. I just say to Claude, hey, build a skill for this, use your skill creator skill, and it will do it. And there's kind of like 2 ways you can go about building these skills. So I'll give you an example using that like YouTube one that we went through before. So in my eyes, there's really only like 2 ways to go about building these skills. They both involve the skill creator skill, obviously, but you can either go into a new chat with Claude or Claude Code, whatever, and go from the get-go, I want to build a skill for XYZ, please help me. And then it will walk you through the steps. Or there's a second way, which is you go through a process first, and then you say, once you finish the process, build a skill for what we've just done. And I always recommend doing it that second way. Great example here with the proposals, right? It's like, rather than going in fresh to Claude and saying like, hey, help me build a proposal skill, that would work. But what I actually prefer to do is I'll go through the workflow manually with Claude first, and then after I'll say, build the skill. So for the proposal example, great one, you would go through, hey, I need a proposal written for this company, blah, blah, go back and forth. Hey, change the text to this size, change the font to here, change the colors, put the price down the bottom. Hey, great, I'm happy with this. Then I'd say, once we've done all that, no mention of a skill yet to Claude, I would then say, use your skill creator skill to build me a proposal skill for what we've just done. And then it will kind of have all the context of what it's just been through, and it will build a skill for that process. So for example, like the YouTube thumbnail one that I went through, I didn't go to Claude, let's build a YouTube thumbnail skill. I just had a new Claude Code session up, and I was like, all right, help me build a YouTube thumbnail for this video. My video is in this location in Google Drive. Okay, use the Hicksfield MCP. All right, here's like my photo of my head. Here's the background I want you to use. Here's some thumbnails I like the style of. And then eventually, after like a bunch of back and forth and probably like 2 hours of sitting in Claude Code, it was eventually like spitting out thumbnails consistently in the style that I like. And then I'm like, okay, Claude, build me a thumbnail skill for this process so we can do it over and over again. And then same goes with all the other skills I've built. An example of when I would do it the first way would be like if I was building a brand guidelines skill, because there's no real process to go through first. I would just say like, hey Claude, like why don't you use your skill creator skill to build me a brand guidelines skill for AI with Remy? And then Claude will always usually ask you some questions. Hey, great, what are your colors? Say, paste your logo in here. It'll ask you for everything it needs, and then it will package that up as a skill. So that is like pretty much how I go about building all these skills. And you always like want to make sure your skills are really well thought out and really well made and finished before you like just start going and making a ton. Because the last thing you want is to have like hundreds and hundreds of skills that are all like half finished and you don't end up using, and you just kind of open up your skills and you're all overwhelmed. It's much better to just like build really good skills, few and far between, and make sure they work. And normally what will happen is when you build a skill for the first time, it's not going to be perfect. Most of these skills that you're seeing, like that product shoot one, the thumbnail one, they are on like V10. We build it once, and then the second time when I go to do that process again and we run the skill, there's probably going to be things that it's done that I'm not happy with. And I will literally say in the chat, I don't like how you made those thumbnails in dark mode. I always want them in light mode. Update your skill so that you never do that again. And then I might have something different on every time I use it for like 10 different times until eventually now the skill is like solid and I pretty much never ever have to change anything. And the same goes with like all your skills. It's kind of like they're never like done in a sense. They're always kind of like a bit of a work in progress. And the best part is they're completely future-proof. If you spend all your time like building all these really good skills in Claude Code, like I said, and then Claude Code goes like terrible, you can just up and move them into your new platform. And this is what I'm finding at the moment while I'm starting to like move some stuff out of Claude Code into like Hermes agent, for example. It's been really, really helpful. So that is skills 101 for you. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. I made a video a little bit a while back, but it's starting to get outdated now. And I wanted to make a bit of a refresher here, but literally the sky's the limit when it comes to skills. You can do pretty much anything with them. I'm really, really excited to see what you guys go and build. Let me know down below in the comments, but thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you got value, and I'll see you guys in the next video.